she's here?
She's not here, no ma'am. She called today and wanted to know if you could call her whenever you had a chance. She just called the office.
Okay, all right.
Let us bring the City of Spartanburg City Council meeting to order. We're going to stand for a moment of silence. Then we're going to be led Pledge of Allegiance. Moment of silence. Amen. Mayor Pro Tem, you mind lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So now we have a very exciting part on item 3, the swearing in of our new city council person member, the Honorable Leslie Rogers, City Council District Number 2, will stand to have her oath read administered by Benjamin Rogers. And who's holding the Bible?
This is Aiden Rogers.
All right. Awesome, awesome.
I, Leslie Rogers,
I, Leslie Rogers,
do solemnly swear that I am duly qualified, according to the Constitution of the State of South Carolina, to exercise the duties of the office to which I have been appointed, and that I will, to the best of my ability, discharge the duties thereof, and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and the United States of America,
the Constitution of this state and the United States of America,
and and I do further solemnly swear
and I do further solemnly swear
that as council member
that as council member
for the municipality of Spartanburg,
for the municipality of Spartanburg,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
I will equally, fairly, and impartially,
to the best of my ability and skill,
to the best of my ability and skill,
exercise the trust reposed in me,
exercise the trust reposed in me,
and I will use my best endeavors
and I will use my best endeavors
to preserve the peace,
to preserve the peace,
support, and defend the interests of the citizens of this city,
support and defend the interests of the citizens of this city,
and carry into effect, according to the law,
and carry into effect, according to the law,
the purposes for which I have been appointed.
the purposes from which I have been appointed. Thank you. Do I need a mic or is this okay? Maybe I'll just do this. Wow. Your signature changes a little bit when you're signing such an official paper. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. I am deeply honored to stand here tonight, humbled by the trust that is placed in me to represent District 2 and to serve the city of Spartanburg. Over the past several months, and truly for many years, I've had the opportunity to listen, learn, and connect with members of this community. Those conversations will guide the work that I do on this council moving forward. As I begin this role, I am committed to working collaboratively with Mayor Rice and my fellow city council members and the dedicated city staff. I recognize that real progress happens when we move forward as a team, openly, respectfully, and with shared commitment for the people of Spartanburg. My focus will be on a few core priorities: supporting thoughtful growth that protects the character of our neighborhoods, addressing infrastructure challenges on the east side with long-term planning, strengthening public safety by supporting our police, fire, and emergency services, and being responsible steward of taxpayer dollars through transparent and efficient governance, protecting Spartanburg's affordability and quality of life for current residents and future generations. I'd also like to take a moment to thank the volunteers, neighbors, friends, and community members that have shared their time, their voices, and their talents to help me get here. Your belief in this community and your commitment to civic engagement was what makes Spartanburg special. I come to this role not only as a business professional, but as a neighbor and a mom who loves the city. My children are loved and thriving, and I want Spartanburg to be a place where all families can feel safe, connected, and proud to call Spartanburg home. Thank you again for this opportunity. I am ready to roll up my sleeves, listen, and get to work. Thank you.
Congratulations and welcome, welcome, welcome. Your nameplate has been ordered, so it is on its way.
Mayor, I was gonna ask.
No, awesome. Welcome and congratulations to you and your family. Thank you, thank you. Where are we? Item 4, approval of the minutes of the November 10th, 2025 City Council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Item 5, approval of the agenda for the November 24th, 2025 City Council meeting.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. We have public comments, item 6. As it is all has been stated, make sure you come up, give us your name, your address, even though I may say your name ahead of time. And once you give your name and your address, you have 2 minutes to state your concern. Al Snyder, come on up. That's fine. Yes, sir. You can turn it. Yep.
That's okay. Thank you. First of all, I'd like to say I'm an honorably discharged U.S. Army veteran. I pulled duty on the DMZ in South Korea and North Korea.
Mr.
Just as a
Snyder.
precursor. Oh, I'm sorry, Al Schneider,
There you go.
127 Falcon Ridge Drive,
Thank you, sir.
Boiling Springs. All right, again, I'm an honorably discharged veteran, U.S. Army, pulled duty on the DMZ on South Korea, North Korea border, where President Trump visited there, Kim Il-sung or whatever. Anyway, for those of you who approved and participated, especially you, Mr. Mayor Jerome Rice, in this senseless demise and destruction of the downtown clock, are nothing but despicable, greedy lowlifes. I say that
Mr. Snyder, I cannot take
the whole
this.
undue stress and anxiety you have caused this community is totally reprehensible.
Mr. Snyder, we're not going to continue these dragging our names through the mud, man. It's not going to happen.
Is this not free speech?
It is, but you and I can take that up at a different time.
All right.
If you got to call out names like that, Mr. Snyder, that's not the way it's going to
All
work.
right, I'm done with that. I've done my share, okay? Just to finish up here, okay? Next year is the 250th anniversary of the celebration of America's Declaration of Independence, okay? Every community across America will be exhaustively preparing for this historic event. You, however, have seen to it that to rob Spartanburg.
Mr. Snyder, thank you, man. Thank you for your time. We can
You
discuss
just
that
don't want to
later.
hear what I have to say.
We can discuss that later.
All right.
Thank you,
don't
Mr.
deserve
Snyder.
to be in
Have a great day.
office.
All right, item Autumn Williams. We don't have to worry about that gavel with you, Autumn. Come on down.
Okay. Good evening.
Give us your name, your address.
Autumn Williams, 1788 Southwold Lane, Boiling Springs. Okay. I wanted to take a moment to speak about something that affects the safety and quality of life for many families in my area, and that's the lack of sidewalks for both inside and around several neighborhoods in Boiling Springs.
Raise your mic just a little bit.
Several areas in Boiling Springs. Right now, there aren't any safe walking paths. If someone wants to walk to 7-Eleven or nearby to a bus stop, they would have to walk alongside the shoulder of the road, directly beside passing cars. This is especially dangerous for children waiting for school buses early in the morning or late in the afternoon, where the traffic is heavy and the visibility is low. As Spartanburg continues to grow and welcome more residents, our infrastructure should grow with it. And adding sidewalks and pedestrian walkways throughout Boiling Springs will make a meaningful difference, not just for safety, but for connection and accessibility. It would allow residents to move confidently and safely through their neighborhoods, whether they're walking, jogging, heading to work or school. Sidewalks may seem simple, but they represent something bigger: safety, care, and thoughtful city planning. They show that Spartanburg values the people who live there and wants to make sure everyone can move around safely. I respectfully ask the council to consider adding sidewalks and pedestrian routes in the Standing Rock area and throughout nearby neighborhoods in Boiling Springs as part of future infrastructure planning. Thank you for your time and for your continued commitment to making Spartanburg a safer and more connected community.
Thank you, Autumn. Jack Mabry is the county council person, I think, and I will make sure Jack get this information, okay? Thank you. Ms. Sanchez.
Hello, my name is Yasara Sanchez. I'm here to address a concern that affects mainly families in Spartanburg, the safety of immigrant residents, and the urgent need for clearer communication between the city and our multilingual communities. Our city has a significant immigrant population, especially within the Hispanic and Latino community. Many families work here, contribute here, and are raising the next generation here in Spartanburg. Improved communication improves trust, in which many immigrants feel has the need about interacting with local agencies because they fear misunderstanding or not being able to communicate clearly. When the city offers translated materials such as safety reminders of service forms, it shows that Spartanburg values every resident and wants them to feel safe, informed, and included. I want to emphasize that this request is not political, and it is a practical, realistic, and focused on safety, clarity, and equal access to information. Small changes such as Spanish language emergency notices or bilingual updates on the city website would make a difference for many families. Spartanburg is growing and becoming more diverse every year. Strengthening communication with immigrant residents is not just a courtesy, it is a shared responsibility that supports public safety, trust, and community unit. Thank you for your time, your service, and your consideration of this important issue.
Thank you. And your address again, just so I have it.
My address is 8514 Robs Avenue.
Good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for those updates. Item 7, we have a proclamation declaring November the 22nd, 2025 as Top Ladies of Distinction Charter Day in the city of Spartanburg. I did have the pleasure on this past Saturday of meeting these ladies at a luncheon along with Councilwoman Littlejohn, where they were officially chartered here for Spartanburg, and we already have plans that they'll be working on with the mayor coming soon. So, Madam President, if you don't mind standing with me. I'll present this and give you an opportunity for a few words. Again, for the ladies of distinction, whereas the city of Spartanburg proudly recognized the establishment of the Greater Spartanburg chapter of Top Ladies of Distinction, a nationally esteemed organization committed to service, leadership, and uplifting of youth, family, and community. Whereas 42 outstanding women from across the upstate region have united in purpose and passion to become the newest members of the TLOD Incorporated, bringing them a legacy of excellence and compassion and civic engagement. So it goes on to say a few more things here, but I wanted you all to hear what their the service, leadership, and uplifting of youth, families, and community, and also this legacy of excellence and compassion and civic engagement that they will be working on. So, as I go to the bottom, therefore I, Jerome Rice, by the virtue of the authority vested in me as the mayor of the city of Spartanburg, and on behalf of my fellow city council members, do hereby proclaim the 22nd day of November 2025 as Top Ladies of Distinction Charter Day. So again, thank you, Madam President, and we do look forward to working with the ladies. If you all do not mind standing, if you don't mind standing, thank you. So we all can see you.
Good evening, Mayor Rice, members of the Spartanburg City Council, distinguished guests, family, and friends. I am Glory Harrison Boozer, and I am honored as the organizer and newly elected president of the Top Ladies of Distinction in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Myself, along with these distinguished ladies here, are known as the Greater Spartanburg Upstate Gems. Okay, we have our crown with our gems in it, and so we're the gems. These 42 extraordinary ladies were inducted on Saturday, the 22nd, here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, and we were elated. So tonight is a moment of both celebration and commitment. By recognizing these 42 accomplished ladies, we celebrate the expansion of a powerful legacy here in the city of Spartanburg, South Carolina. These ladies now carry forward the mission of Top Ladies of Distinction, a 501(c) charitable organization founded in 1964 in Tyler, Texas by Lady Bird Johnson. The purpose was to uplift women, guide, and encourage youth. TLOD's work is anchored in our nationally recognized 5 thrusts. As Mayor recognized and mentioned some of them, I'll just review all 5 so we will know what they are. The status of women, promoting the advancement, leadership, and well-being of women in all aspects of life. Senior citizens, providing support, dignity, and meaningful engagement to our elders. Number 3, community beautification, enhancing the appearance, pride, and environmental health of our communities. Number 4, community partnerships, collaborating with civic, governmental, educational, and nonprofit organizations to strengthen collective impact. And lastly, Top Teens of America, mentoring our youth through leadership, development, scholarship, service, and character building programs. And these youth we take on in middle school and follow them through high school. And so our next task, Mayor, is to form the chapter of Top Teens of America. And we will be taking them along with us to Nashville to the conference in March. So we are here to support community partnerships and work that you need done here in the city to help make an impact. So these wonderful leaders in all aspects of life are here to assist.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Manny. We have board and commission appointment, design review board. Ms. Christy Lindsay.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm before you this evening with an appointment for our Design Review Board. I had emailed you all the information on Mr. Brian Sanders earlier today. He is qualified and he would like to serve on this board, so I'll look to you for recommendation.
We have any questions? No. Well, do I hear a motion?
I move that we accept Mr. Beard.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it.
Thank you very much.
Consent agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Ayes have it. This pen is not working right. Update from PAL, Play, Advocate, Live Well on Trail System. Presenter, Ms. Laura Ringo, Executive Director. Information only. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor Rice, member of council. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Congratulations, Councilmember Rogers. I'm thrilled to be here and give you an update on PAL and what we've been doing for the last year. Our partnership with the city is so important to the work that we do. We are so grateful for your team and for this council and the partnership that we have. Our why as to our mission is really about creating a healthy community. So when we look at the chronic diseases that face both our community and really our nation as a whole, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, heart disease, chronic diseases are a major cause of impact to lifestyle and also cause of death. And so we're trying to make it easy for Spartanburg residents to live a healthier lifestyle. 3 of those chronic disease or those lifestyle habits that are so important are good regular physical activity, nutritious food, and not partaking in tobacco. And so we are focused on 2 of those, the physical activity piece and the healthy food piece. And we do that through a number of ways. One is to have a lot of fun activities that incentivize our community to come out and be active. So in honor of Thanksgiving this week, I say happy Thanksgiving to you. We host the Turkey Day 8K in downtown Spartanburg. This will be the 21st annual United Community Bank event, and we expect to have about 2,000 people downtown. It's a very happy morning. I also want to just let you know how grateful we are to public safety. There are a lot of them there supporting this event. I'm sure they'd rather be in their bed on a holiday, but they're there supporting their community, and we are so, so grateful for that partnership. We also recently brought Hub City Farmers Market under our umbrella. Both PAL and what was the parent organization, Hub City Roots, were founded out of the same Healthy Spartanburg study about 25 years ago. We've worked very collaboratively over a lot of years. And as we expand our focus on not only physical activity, but also local nutritious food, it made sense to join efforts and really try to build a one-stop shop where it's easy to choose health and wellness. The farmers market has been thriving, and we hope to help it grow and even do better and have a greater impact in our community as we move forward. Here's a couple of reasons why we think local food is so important. We know that food is healthiest when it's consumed closest to where it's grown and not shipped across the country or sometimes across the halfway across the world. So as much as we can eat local, it's typically the most nutritious. It also is important to support our local farmers. They are a really important part of our community. It strengthens the local food system. It helps us take better care of our planet by shipping less. And finally, we do a lot of work in processing. We process about $10,000 a month in SNAP and matching of SNAP dollars at Hub City Farmers Market. We also, last year, thanks to a federal grant, donated almost $100,000 in local produce to 14 different nonprofit community partners who distributed that. Unfortunately, that grant ended, but we are still doing a good bit of food donation, trying to get our local healthy food out to people who need it. But really going to spend most of the time talking about trail development. We have worked hand in hand with both the city of Spartanburg as well as Spartanburg County over the last 12 years building out a trail network. Spartanburg County Parks did a survey of the most needed and requested parks and recreation facilities in the county, and both of the last two surveys, which are done 5 years apart, came back with trails as the #1 requested amenity. And while that's the county, we think it's also reflected in the city by the use of the Mary Black Foundation Rail Trail and the River Birch Trail, the Mary Wright Greenway. I'll talk just a little bit more about use in just a minute, but our community is using them, and we think that shows demand for more. So great picture of Miles with the mayor and Councilwoman Littlejohn on the Mary Wright Greenway. I spoke to our why on the improving health, but there are so many other reasons why trails are really important. They improve quality of life. They're great outdoor recreation. They help grow our local economy. We kind of joke in our office that we know every time Catherine O'Neill calls, it means we're going to have to figure out another 3 to 5 mile trail connection to some great multifamily facility that she is bringing to town. It also highlights our history. The South Side Monument is a great example of that. Provides transportation options for those residents who either choose to not drive as often or don't have a car. It also is a great way to connect to our schools and major destinations in our community. We also want it to be safe, and more facilities makes it safer. So we track trail uses, not users. So we have infrared trail counters out on all of our different trail segments. So this is looking at every 2 years of trail counts until you get to the end, and then it's a 1-year increment. Our goal is by 2028 to have 1 million annual trail uses, but it grows from 128,000 in 2017 to 766,000 uses last year. So we feel like that says demand, and that this community loves our trails, they use them. I mean, I'm telling you, a light bulb's out, something happens, and I've got like 12 text messages. So our community is really committed to our trail system. I wanted to share some pictures of some successes over the last year. The top picture is the River Birch Trail, which is over in District 2, and we worked with Spartanburg Water to decorate some of their sewer lines with art from local artists. We've got some additional art that is coming this spring, which we're excited about. We asked the artists to focus on Spartanburg, to focus on community, and to focus on health. And so they brought their interpretation of that. The second picture on the top right corner is the recent opening of the Duncan Park Ecology Education Center. That was another great partnership with Spartanburg Water, the city, of course, Kim and her parks team, as well as a leadership Spartanburg group. And that came out of the community engagement process at Duncan Park, where people said they wanted more education opportunities and to learn about all the flora and fauna in Duncan Park. And so we followed up on that and are really proud and excited about that facility. And then the bottom two pictures are the Wildflower Way trail segment extension. So if you are at McCracken Middle School and Park and walk down the hill, if you go to the right, that is the River Birch Trail. If you go to the left, that takes you into Space's Edward Griffin, that's a lot of names, the Edward Griffin Preserve, and it is a paved path in there called Wildflower Way. So if you stay right next to the creek, you are still on the natural surface Cottonwood Trail, but we also added a paved facility to reach people that may have mobility issues, that don't want to get their tennis shoes dirty, that have strollers, whatever the issue. And we partnered with Hub City Animal Project to do this Rainbow Pet Bridge. It is symbolic of when you lose a pet, they cross the Rainbow Bridge. Eventually you are reunited, but community members can go and clip their dog or cat collars to it. So it is a really beautiful, special place. We were like, pets, the woods, trails, it's all the great things all wrapped into one. I should also note that on all of these projects, we did not use any city dollars. Our partnership in implementing with the city was really critical, but city dollars did not help pay for this. So we're always looking for money to make our community better and try to limit our ask to you all. Certainly couldn't talk about successes over the last year without talking about the Mary Wright Greenway. The picture on the left is the beautiful and spectacular cultural wall. We love that it is on the Mary Wright Greenway and is at pedestrian scale for people to interact and enjoy. We'd love to see that replicated, maybe on a smaller scale, but it's really such a beautiful addition. So congrats to the city team on that. And then the picture on the right was taken this morning at the Mary Wright Greenway. There's nothing like some asphalt to get us excited in our office. So we were thrilled to see that, that project moving, and thank council for your allocation of funds to make that happen. I'm going to briefly mention we also partnered with two other nonprofits to purchase the Saluda grade rail line. I know that is not in the city of Spartanburg. It starts in Inman and goes up just north of Saluda, North Carolina. But wanted to mention that our long-term dream and vision is to connect this down to the Daniel Morgan Trail System. You've got about a 10-mile gap between Inman and USC Upstate, which is kind of our northern terminus on the Daniel Morgan Trail System. And then if we can connect down to Cross State Park and the 50 miles there, if we can connect north to the Augusta and Swamp Rabbit is not too far, all of a sudden you're talking about a regional network that is really rivals some of the big ones across the country. So there's lots of potential. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about this map. There's a lot going on here. So this is the Daniel Morgan Trail System. The solid green lines are trail segments that already exist. There are 24 miles of those. And so far, it's been about a $22 million investment to make all of those happen. That money has certainly not all come through PAL. The city has paid for some. The county has paid for some. Other partners have built them. But collectively, it's been about a $22 million investment. The dashed green lines are trails that are in some form of progress. There are 24 miles of those, and our goal is to get 20 of those on the ground by 2028. The one that says Fair Forest Creek 8 miles, that is being paid for through a federal grant, the RAISE grant. The county is the fiscal agent for that. That is almost a $24 million grant. So that alone will double our investment in trails in this community. If we implement the rest of all of that, that's highlighted in the dashed green, that will total an investment of $54 million. So this is something that our community has invested in significantly. And then finally, the blue lines are trails that are something we aspire to build. We're not quite sure about routing yet, but got a little more work to do to get there. And I should say in total, this would be about a 55-mile network. Wanted to touch very quickly on active spaces. So there are 3 different park projects where we've worked closely with Kim and the city team. Duncan Park, which I know you all are very familiar with, the Rail Yard Community Park with a Subaru bike park, and then finally Irwin Park. Our interest in these parks specifically has been their connection and tie into the trail system. Creating destinations along the trail system is so important, especially public spaces for people to gather and enjoy the system. Irwin Park, we've had the first steering committee meeting. We're really excited that the gentleman who led the Duncan Park process with the National Park System, he retired, and so he has come back as a consultant to lead that process for us on Irwin Park. So we're excited and very committed to a public process for creating a vision and master plan for Irwin Park, and look forward to sharing that with you. Couple other quick things. We are constantly also trying to support the grounds team, Josh Baker, all that is happening and Scott Page, all that they are doing to support the trails that are on the ground. We have a group of retirees that meets every Tuesday to clean up invasive plant species. We also have regular events on Saturdays. Just last month, we had about 50 high school kids out at Duncan Park working. So constantly trying to engage the community in making our trails safer and thriving and less invaded by foreign plants. We also know, of course, that trails are tied very much to economic development. We know that for every $1 million we spend, it leads to at least a $1.5 million economic benefit to the community. We also know that destinations are a major part of building out a trail system. So you see a number of different great local restaurants that have located along the system, as well as multifamily developments that have come to town and have tied into the trail system. And finally, we're always looking for ways to connect our community to PAL and the work that we're doing in whatever capacity that means. So always looking for folks to get involved. So if you know of anybody that's interested, please send them our way. And with that, I'm glad to take any questions.
Any questions of Ms. Ringo? I'm sorry, go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to say to Ms. Ringo, thank you for the presentation, for the work you were doing, and for all the aspirations and dreams that you are putting out there for everyone. And I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, Laura, I too want to thank you for all of the work that you are doing, and I do have some questions, but I think that mine will go to Chris instead of you.
Great.
Sure, and Laura, just echoing the sentiments of what PAL has meant to Spartanburg in the trails. It is a tremendous amenity that we have, and a lot of times when we talk to Catherine O'Neill, it is about, the trails and these amenities that we are trying to make Spartanburg a more walkable, playable city. But one thing you said earlier about the turkey run on Thanksgiving morning is not so much fun for us that run it and not quite in shape. So
Fair. It's fun to watch you. How about that?
No, we have a great time, and thank you for all that you do for the city of Spartanburg, city and county of Spartanburg.
Thank you.
And the upstate. Thank you. I'm sorry. Go. Laura. I'm sorry.
You seem to be a great person to ask my first question.
Oh, please.
So tell me, with the trails, it's all amazing, and I think you know how much our family truly loves the trail system. In terms of the different segments, is there a segment that is more frequently utilized and then a segment that is not? So as council members, is there a segment that we could encourage participation and walk and footsteps?
Yeah, no, thank you for asking that. And I'm glad to dig into more numbers if you are interested. So certainly the Mary Black Foundation Rail Trail is the most popular and has continued to be. And it was kind of the model when we started looking at this a little over 10 years ago of like, this is an amazing example. How do we do more of this? So it's definitely the one that is kind of the most popular. Second behind that is the River Birch Trail. So far through October, the rail trail has about 150,000 uses so far this year. The River Birch Trail is just over 100, or right at 100,000 uses. So it's quickly catching up as another favorite. We're hopeful that Fair Forest Creek corridor is going to be just as beautiful as the River Birch section. Duncan Park is still not utilized much, which was also part of our interest in helping support the parks team as we enhance the park and the experience. It's getting more, but I think there's still opportunity to get more users out there. And we hope to really make that connection between the rail trail and Duncan Park more obvious. SCDOT is resurfacing, or I don't know if they're doing it, the county, somebody is resurfacing Union Street. And as part of that, SCDOT did approve some additional enhancements to crossings to try to make that connection more obvious.
Good. Thank you, Laura.
Thank you.
I do appreciate that. Item 11, the resolution authorizing the city manager to implement the RAISE, a grant funded enhancement to the Daniel Morgan Trail Network in the city of Spartanburg partnership with Spartanburg County and PAL, Play, Act, Advocate, Live Well. Resolution. Chris Story, presenter.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, Laura's presentation helped to see the context for this. As she mentioned, the RAISE grant is the single largest at one time investment in our trail network, $24 million grant that PAL and the county sought together, and the county's the fiscal agent on, and they've been great partners with us over the years as it relates to this, and I believe it's 8 miles of it traverse the city. Those 8 miles will connect neighborhoods that need these amenities. WEZL, West Main Street, Park Hills, the Highland neighborhood, Irwin Park, C.C. Woodson, connecting all back to the Mary Wright Greenway and the existing infrastructure. So that's a massive quality of life enhancement for a number of our neighborhoods that we're very excited about. The resolution before you does several things. One, it affirms our support for this activity as a primary quality of life enhancement to take place and be implemented in 2026. Secondly, it affirms, because the question continues to come forward, that our expectation is that we'll maintain the sections that are in the city limits, just as we maintain River Birch and Mary Black Foundation Rail Trail and the other amenities that are currently in use. And finally, it directs me to engage more deeply in the property acquisition that's necessary, mostly in the form of easements. We have found, and it's been our experience in the projects that have been developed to date, that trails are like a lot of infrastructure enhancements in that they are a win-win type of investment, that they have positive use benefits to properties nearby, but they also have positive economic impact on properties nearby. So it's often very simple, straightforward to acquire the easements, but in this case, with a ticking clock on a federal grant, we're going to move more quickly if we have your support on this resolution. In attempt to wrap up the property acquisition easements and rights of way that are necessary to fully implement the project. So certainly welcome any questions you have. This resolution moves us a step further towards realizing and completing out that vision.
Questions of Mr. Story?
Yeah, Chris, as I understand it, the county has adopted a similar resolution?
They have.
Yeah.
They have.
And then, also, as I understand it, many of the required easements have already been secured, and we've just narrowed down to a very few in scope. And of those, the outstanding, easements that are needed don't, in any way adversely affect the property owner, the property owner's rights to use that property in any way they deem appropriate, and is largely non-invasive.
That's correct. There's no structures impacted. There's no properties that the nature and use of would change. We're talking oftentimes a matter of feet here or there, and it's important. I don't want to create the impression that there's significant difficulty towards making this happen, because there's not, but it's oftentimes difficult to get folks' attention to it. And so that's one of the things that this resolution would help us do.
And this resolution and scope is limited to the property acquisition or the easement acquisition of those identified through this RAISE grant?
Yes, sir. Yes,
and not beyond?
That's correct.
Mr. Mayor?
Sure.
Chris, if we needed to take further action, those would come before us. This just gives you the tools to
Right.
get the attention.
This gives me a public mandate, essentially,
Right.
is one
But
way
if
to
we
think of
needed
it.
to take further action on a particular easement, that would be an individual action before us.
Yes, ma'am, we approach it that way.
Yeah, Chris, I went out today with Leah, and I just wanted to see firsthand, where the trail would go and the amount of property that would be taken, and should it comes to that. And I think about the most that would be taken from any one property would be like 20 feet. But I think the thing that some people are concerned about, and you have to think about this because of urban renewal, because a lot of people, that's the first thing that came to their mind, urban renewal. You came in because you took the property, and the people were not compensated. And I am hoping that we do not have to use eminent domain to get the property. although it's just a few feet, but you know, it's a few feet. If somebody else's property, it's just a few feet. But if it's mine, it's my property. And that's the way that we have to look at it. And I am hoping that we will approach this gently.
Yes, ma'am.
And not go in and just force people to do something by using eminent domain. Because I do believe that the majority of the people that own the properties, I don't think that they would give you a hard time, but this is just me talking because it's not my property. But I do hope that if you have to give them a few dollars, then give them a few dollars. You know, if you can get them to give up that little land that you're needing.
Yes, ma'am. We have independent third-party appraisals, and those we'll make those offers, assuming you authorize me to go forward. We'll make those offers at the fair market value appraisal, and we think that is a direct calculation based on the small pieces of land involved. What it doesn't capture or reflect is that when we have these infrastructure improvements and these amenities, it tends to attract businesses. I think we're all familiar with the Mary Black Foundation Rail Trail has seen a number of complementary or positive businesses that have chosen that location for proximity. Right. And there's an economic component to that. You know, we really approach this as sort of a triple bottom line win. A win for the property owners, a win for the community, and a win for future business activity. So.
You know, Chris, I would say this, 'cause from what I got from Leah today, I think that this is going to be a plus, but it's not my property, as I'm saying. You know, use a gentle way of going about it, because you're not going to force people into doing something.
And Chris, to that point, though, as I understand it, I think Laura, Leah, and Ned, working in conjunction with the city staff, have been working diligently to acquire the parcels that they've already gotten easements for, and that's all been a collaborative process. There have been workarounds that have been created to accommodate some of those concerns, and they're really taking a very careful approach to ensuring absolutely minimizing any adverse effect that there would be on any property owner. Is that your understanding?
That's absolutely our intent. Our goal is win-win-win.
On all ends. All right. Any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we adopt resolution, what is that one number?
A. 11A.
11A.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that opposed? Ayes have it. We're at B. Mr. Livingston, a resolution approving the purchase of property at Holmes and Hart Street bearing the tax map parcel number 7-16-06-289.00 and 7-16-06-315.00 resolution. Mr. Livingston, Community Development Director. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. Staff is requesting approval of a resolution to purchase 2 properties near Home and Hart Street. These properties we hope will be used for housing, but they're also going to be used for the infrastructure for the Powell Trail. The properties will be purchased from Cornerstone Baptist Church, and this was a voluntary transaction. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
Mr. Mayor, Martin, as I understand it in the packet, we own the property on either side already?
We own the property in the middle. We're purchasing 2 properties on the other side.
Okay, so this now will make one larger parcel.
So Martin, that little triangle, Do you see the triangle as I'm looking at it to the right?
Yes.
Whose property is that?
We own that triangle.
Okay, that's what I thought. So we'll have all of that. Good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we own the middle.
We're trying to acquire.
We own the
the
middle.
red.
We're trying to acquire both sides.
So that it can diagonally cross the property.
That's correct.
Yeah.
And the funds used to purchase this are CBDG funds?
That's correct. CDBG funds. We can use it to acquire properties for infrastructure and for housing.
And so the trail would connect from Home Street over to Hart Street?
Home Street to Home Street Extension, where the triangle is located.
Okay.
But I'm sure Pal will share that information in a future date.
Good.
And Martin, is that Terrence Hall's Enterprises? Okay. He,
Next one.
Yeah.
oh, did I? Is he working with this group too?
Not on this lot.
Okay.
Not on these lots.
We don't have any plans necessarily for
We
these.
don't currently have any.
Not yet. We're working with the planning department to develop some plans.
But this would not preclude that, or the existence of the trail?
That's correct. Well, it'll allow for the trail to be developed on the lower portions of the lots, and then we believe that we can develop some housing later on.
Awesome. All right. Do I hear a recommendation?
I make a motion that we accept, move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. Livingston.
Thank you.
Item 12, ordinance. Ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute agreement for the transfer of scattered site properties located in the Farley, Saxon, North Side, and South Converse neighborhoods. First reading. Mr. Livingston, back up.
Mr. Mayor, members of council, staff is requesting approval to allow for an ordinance and for the city manager to execute a development agreement with Hawes Enterprises LLC to develop on 7 lots that will produce 9 houses in the city. The development agreement allows for the developer to build single-family housing for homeownership purposes with a price range anywhere from $200,000 to $240,000. Back earlier this year, staff implemented a request for proposals on city lots to build housing. And we received several proposals from developers working with LISC Upstate. Hawes Enterprises was chosen as one of those developers, and so we're bringing before you a development agreement to allow him to proceed with a development on these 7 lots to produce 9 single-family homeownership units. And I'll answer any questions you may have.
Questions?
Martin, there are no chosen owners at this point, though. This
No.
is just to
All
transfer those over
speculative.
for him to develop.
That's correct. It's all speculative
And-
at this point.
Families that would be interested in this will work with local partners on affordable down payment assistance and that sort of thing as well.
So that's correct. Some of the funding that will be involved in this development will include some American Rescue Plan funding to make the units available and affordable to families. There are some properties in the north side, and the north side has their own down payment assistance program, and the city has its own program that can be used throughout the city as well. All these locations are eligible locations.
So if the developer has a time zone to do this project?
So the development agreement extends to December of 2027, but must be completed. A majority of the construction must have begun by December of next year because ARPA funds may be involved in some of these lots.
And what happens to those properties? Let's say he does 2. Does that satisfy the agreement? Or if he stalls after 2, does that then return the outlying lots to the city?
So all the lots will have a lien, a mortgage attached to them. So if he only does 2, the rest of the lots will be returned to the city.
And that's by the 2027 date?
December 2027.
Okay. And so this is a $2 million investment with how much invested from our ARPA dollars?
$450,000, we think, $450,000.
So $450,000 leverage gives us another
1 to 4.
$1.6 million, which adds to our number of 3.5 million deployed so far with an investment of 55 million?
That's
or
correct.
57 million?
That's already added in. This number is already added into those totals. So
Okay.
we're looking for,
Trying to pad numbers for you, Martin. but,
Keep it going, Jamie, keep
Thanks
it
for
going.
don't pad numbers around here.
I know. But I do think, always take the opportunity to make the point that
Yes,
this is what we
very
talked
much
about
so.
with those ARPA
Very
dollars,
much so.
and seeing those dollars go
Yeah.
farther is in the benefit, in the best interest of our community, and it's a story we need to tell more often, and maybe amplify that.
And I'm sure the city manager will provide more information as we move along with those projects. Some of those projects are coming out of the ground as we speak. And so you'll hear more about those projects over the next couple of months. Haas has provided a few of these drawings showing the designs of the homes. He's building single-family, one-story and two-story homes. Throughout those lots, we have one development that will require some infrastructure, sewer, and sidewalks. Working with the planning department, we've come up with this design in the South Congress neighborhood. These are all the lots and their locations throughout the city. And then again, this chart shows you the income ranges that we're serving. We're trying to serve families at 120% or less of area median income. The ARPA funds allows us to do that, but the goal really is to get families at 180% of median income within that income range. And so Haas has been successful in doing that over the years, trying to get families at 80% of median income. This program and all of our housing programs meet these goals meet several city goals and action plans, including several from the comprehensive plan, the consolidated plan, and as soon as we adopt this city strategic plan, we'll meet some of the city's strategic plan goals as well.
Martin, you mentioned that there were several developers that responded to your RFP. Is that a higher number than we've historically seen, and do you think that indicates continued interest in Spartanburg and help in the overall process?
It was significantly higher than what we've seen in the past. We had about 13 or 14 submitters. Four submitters received recommendations for funding. We did move one developer, Habitat, over to home funds to allow them to proceed with their project, and funded the others, recommended funding for the others. But it was a significant number, and two or three were out of town, out of the area region. One was from Greenville, another from Columbia.
Great.
Martin, you said two of these sites were in the north side area?
Yes, two.
Which,
Preston
help me with the second. I know Preston.
and Short Hill, is that right?
Preston and Short Hill.
And what made me think of it was David Sommer's presentation just last week, and talking about how they're but how they're financing houses, and we need to get on board and making sure we're talking to NDG and David in particular. I say we as in some of our potential homeowners here.
I made him aware of it.
Yeah, good. I'm sure you did. It was just reiterating his piece. Any other
On the
questions?
south side, you go, where are they going to be built on the south side?
Got it.
The streets are Marion and Maxwell, that intersection. And
On
then
Marion?
there's-
Go, where about on Marion?
All the ones that.
Oh, that's right, the vacant lot that you have on Marion. Okay.
Martin,
Everett and Sunny. Everett and Sunny as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe we've asked this question before about similar projects, and maybe this isn't the correct term, but is the land deed restricted to affordability for a certain period of time?
Yes.
For how long?
So we have a deed restriction, so it's for every year, it's $1,000 for every year. So when we provide down payment assistance, $20,000, it's 20 years. And so we're looking at, for the $50,000, we're looking at keeping that at 50 years.
That's great.
So it's a deed restriction, restrictive covenant.
And I would say that the wonderful thing about some of these programs that we have with, NDG and other opportunities for down payment home assistance, it's really given folks an opportunity to own a home that wouldn't otherwise have an opportunity to own a home. So I think the goal is to pass these homes down from generation to generation to create generational wealth, which is what we see in the north side, in the south side. And one of the things we talked about last week with this study presentation we went to was, how do we create more opportunities for new folks, but also to keep folks in their neighborhoods that currently, have properties as well. So this is good stuff.
Awesome. Any other questions? Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion that we approve.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Mr. Story, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to execute documents related to the sale of properties located at northwest corner of Church Street and St. John's, bearing tax map number 7-12-17-016.00. Mr. Story, city manager, first reading.
This is a transaction aimed at facilitating the highest and best use of a small bit of property that the city now owns so that it might become part of a larger redevelopment site. This is the northwest corner of North Church Street and St. John Street. It is a small lot that is used for public parking at the moment. It is, we recently acquired it through a complex transaction that played out over several years from the federal government, the General Services Administration of the federal government. The action before you would allow us to convey it as part of an agreement to pursue mixed-use development on that corner, which we think is important. This is the location immediately across Church Street from the Montgomery Building. We think it is a prominent corner that for many, many years, as long as I can recall, been underutilized, undeveloped, small parking lot, and the opportunity for it to be for that corner to be anchored by multi-story mixed-use development is something of strategic interest to the downtown. The transaction before you is a fair market value transaction, fully covering the cost of our recent acquisition of the site. And it has a couple of provisions that are atypical for a conventional land sale. One is the purchaser has agreed to begin the development process, and that'll play out over several years. But to begin planning a development of that site, and if they are unsuccessful in that, we can reacquire the property. The second unique consideration is that at no charge to us or to the public, it would be available for public parking during that time. So nothing would physically change in the interim as our planning and economic development staff worked with the new owner to identify the highest and best use redevelopment possibilities and to bring those to reality. So I recommend your approval of this. We think it's consistent with our economic development strategies and our plans for the most vibrant and economically thriving downtown we can achieve.
Yes.
Chris, refresh my memory. I know this came before council a couple of years ago when we were committing the funds as part of the three-party triangular relationship with GSA.
Yes.
To make, I think, improvements to the federal courthouse here, as I recall, and it was initiated in part as at the request of the acquirer,
Correct.
And so, like, we entered into that with the assumption that this is how this was going to play out, provided all the different, promises were made and met. And it would explain why this wouldn't be a piece of property that we would just take to market and seek a competitive, bid process or anything like that.
Yes, sir. That's 100% correct. And we believe that the highest and best use for this corner involves planning an approach that, because it is such a small footprint, planning an approach that involves some adjacent property. And so the same ownership group has adjacent properties, and that allows for a larger footprint and something that is more appropriate for that corner.
And they would not have been able, nobody else would have been able to acquire this from the federal government except for the city, because typically GSA or the federal government doesn't cede land easily, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, my first reaction to the concept, to the initial idea of incorporating this property into the adjacent property and planning a mixed-use development was, sounds great, go forward. And they said, but we actually need a local government to be an intermediary and to achieve the outcome. So that's how we got to this point.
Good. Any other?
Nope. I was going to make a motion.
Waiting on you.
All right. I make a motion that we approve the ordinance.
Second.
I hear a second. I'm behind, guys. All in favor?
Aye.
Any that oppose? Ayes have it. Mr. Story, stand up for staff updates.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I'll be brief. I just want to highlight a couple of things. It's been a long-standing goal of ours to have all authorized and available positions in our police and fire departments filled. It's a constant, effort to do so. And if you've done any reading about those professions across the country, it's been a very common challenge for communities to attract and retain particularly younger generations into those important professions. And so I wanted to take a minute to give a shout out to our police chief and fire chiefs for their recent unique efforts to fill their application pipelines. Big victories in both of those places. We started out in fire with the largest candidate pool at one time we've had, at least in a decade, and at last had 9 working their way through the process, which is it's a really good number for us in the scale of that department, and 41 individuals in response to some outreach efforts from the police department have taken the first steps in what is a multi-step process to potentially become a police officer. So I'm just really appreciative of those efforts and proud of those 2 teams. The best recruiters we find for folks to join police and fire are policemen and firefighters. They do the best job of explaining it, and they open their doors to the community to do those things and have been successful. The second piece of progress I'd like to highlight relates to our pilot that is ongoing for our microtransit system known as Spartanburg. As we've discussed here, we've been working through the process to sort of design that and let that pilot evolve as it needed to, and out of response to the volumes we were seeing and the requests we were seeing come in through the app, and in conversation about points and destinations, we've been able to expand that footprint to reach out to what I think of as the sort of east side retail areas now included in the service, and that also includes Spartanburg High School. and some of the medical facilities in that part of the community. So a significant footprint expansion for Spartanburg, continued success in that pilot, and we're pleased with the direction that is heading and appreciate the team's flexibility on making that work. So with that, Mr. Mayor, I'll certainly welcome any questions you have, but I did want to share those two updates.
All right, any questions?
Chris, Councilman Fulmer and I were just talking earlier today about our police and recruitment efforts, so I'm interested on your update. When you say they have filled their application pipeline, so let's say we have...
I'm so glad you asked, because I realized that could have, we are still taking applications in both of those departments.
Okay, because I was going to ask if we have spots or budgeted for 130 positions, he always likes to say then we need to overshoot and, get applications for 180, because it's going to, the process is going to weed itself down. But what I would be curious to know is we have such wealth in of age in so many of our officers, and we have recently lost a few of our older, more experienced officers to the county. And I'm curious if the majority of these applicants are brand new, super young. Great, we want everyone that we can take, but we really need to retain our officers that have years and years of experience. Because if a lot of them, we've had this conversation. I hope that we can keep our eyes on two prizes of recruiting, but then also retaining our folks that have the experience, because it's one thing to lose someone with 20 years.
Right.
It's not an apples to apples if you're hiring someone who this is their first year on the force.
Right.
So, in both fire and police, we need to keep both of those things at the forefront. And if that means, I don't believe we have it now, if that means that we start some sort of recruitment incentives, like you see other departments doing, whether that's for a second language, for military experience, for bachelor's degrees, associate's degrees, I do not believe that we do that right now as a department. So if we need to, continue to up our ante, I think we have been a very supportive council, and we want to know what we can do to keep and recruit the best out there, because our folks deserve that.
Sure.
So, please, from the chief, let us know what they need.
Absolutely.
In order to keep that pipeline full.
Right.
And hired.
Yes, ma'am, and I feel like we're in a good place at the moment, and but certainly noted, and I expect.
I don't think we've lost a lot of our officers. We have lost some when we say a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Some
We
in the
have
administration.
they're doing a good job with recruitment and incentivizing, but we can do better. I definitely hear you loud and clear. That if there's something that we are missing out there, but we it's just a hard place to be.
Yeah, we have no more important responsibility to the people that have elected us and the people that we serve than to provide excellent
top-notch
protection, both police and fire, as well as quality city services. And so I don't think we can spend enough time on those issues. And I think it's always important to make sure that with the resources that we're entrusted with, that we're allocating those to get the job done.
Yes, sir.
Chris, sort of relates to this public meeting. We've had in the past a couple folks who have come and give public comment. I see one young lady in the back here. And then I've recently received, I don't believe it's from the same individual, but an email request for folks who might have mobility issues and making certain accommodations for those who it might be a little bit more difficult for them to come to the front to give their public comment. I know that we are a very welcoming city, and I've sent you guys a couple updates. It should not be something that would be that difficult, and I don't want it to be a situation where it's based on, in that moment, we make an accommodation. So my question is, I know that the young lady had made comments about that. What do we offer to folks who may have mobility issues, who may want to still come and participate in the public process of these meetings. It's extremely frustrating to me when I email a constituent back and say, you know, this should be something easy that we should be able to get back to you on, and then I send several emails and I don't get a response. You know,
Well,
I know
emailed
that's,
you on this topic last week.
I don't have that email.
Okay.
I don't have that email. If you can find it and forward it to me, that'd be
I'll
great.
be happy to.
But if you can update us
Sure.
so that we know.
We don't hold public meetings in spaces that aren't fully ADA compliant. Our public comment provisions at this meeting are fully ADA compliant spaces here with plenty of room. And so we believe that this space, and certainly any other space that we might meet in, meets those standards. If council would like to undertake consideration of remote meeting participation in meetings different than live streaming, I would encourage that to be a much more careful study. But as far as making public comments, I believe we can reach at least a third of the room with the equipment we have.
Can I just piggyback on what Councilwoman Brown has stated about the disability? You do have people that are deaf that would like to express themselves as well. So while you're looking into her situation about the contact within the room, making sure that we have other accommodations for them.
Sure, and I think that in that case, of course, you're all, if the matter is simply, if the objective is simply to communicate information, folks don't need to wait for council meetings to do that. They can do that in written form, in email form, anytime. But if the objective is also to have that part of the public discourse, our practice is to allow someone else to read into that record and utilize the public comment time so that it's heard by others.
So that would be an acceptable means. If someone wasn't able to come up here, they could have someone read something on their behalf.
Yeah, I think that has occurred before, and that's certainly council's subject to council policy. Staff doesn't have any restrictions on that.
Is that something that's being contemplated in the design of the new municipal complex?
Well, all of those spaces will be ADA compliant.
Get that, but in terms of accommodating, public input in the chamber rooms, I think they ought to at least make sure that they're thinking through those accommodations that may be necessary to participate.
It would be better equipped and more modern than this space, for sure.
Can I ask one last question, Chris? Sure. The last time we had a cold snap, we saw once again issues rise up at Robert Smalls regarding some of the heating units. Have those issues been completely resolved, and are we prepared at Robert Smalls for an approaching cold snap?
As always, I think it's important to clarify, the city doesn't have a direct role in the management and of Robert Smalls apartments. They are privately owned and managed. They are subject to the same codes that affect all dwelling units in the city, and that requires heat being available.
Are they up to code?
What's that?
Are they up to code?
Every unit that we are aware of, a unit number, has been provided heaters. Now, I have heard in social media and other things references, but of course, for us to do a code enforcement action, we need a unit number, and we need ability. But we have been present on the site multiple days with multiple teams, and to our knowledge, each tenant that doesn't have functioning central heat has been offered safe space heating.
Chris, I will ask just an update with the clock tower and as well as the bricks that could possibly be used again for the tower.
Well, as far as the staff is looking at the feasibility of several locations for replacement of the clock tower. The contractors that we have had discussions with to date believe that both structurally and aesthetically, we'd be better off to predominantly use new material on that. The historic elements and some of the material from the current clock from the current vertical part of the tower structure can be part of that, but predominantly it's going to have to be new material in the vertical part of the tower structure. The bell and clockworks are being refurbished as we speak, and I think we'll be in a position in early 2026 to have a discussion about the best long-term location for that, because I think as we've learned now twice, the long term of the location is important to find one that will be suitable for the foreseeable future and beyond, and that's important. So we want to get that right.
Good.
Can we just say permanent? The next location needs
Well,
to be permanent.
legally, we can never say permanent.
We don't know what's going to happen, generations
It's
awesome.
And we'll have a clock that will work, right?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Story.
That was a low answer.
Thank you. I don't want to start. You ready, Leslie? You can give another update. You want me to start on the other end? You can have that.
Start on the other
All right. Start down here with Ms. Sally.
All right.
Councilwoman Sally.
Okay. Well, thank you all for being here and welcome, Leslie. Glad to have you with us. Let's just say, I have to put my glasses on, so I'm not writing. Last week, I believe, we celebrated the Coca-Cola plant, which is Mr. Joe Davis was so nice to build for us with his construction crew. It is a lovely building. It's been used by from money's funds from the historical grant, help refurbish the building, and I think whenever the vendors get in, it's going to be awesome. It is a nice building. It's very presentable for the west side of town that Councilwoman Smith and I shared. And also, I want to say that I spent most of last week getting ready for my husband's presentation. He was honored as a Hall of Famer for Claflin University. I'm very proud of him, and he doesn't know his name being thrown, or his recognition is being thrown around tonight. But my husband is Roland Sally, for those who do know him. Also, I want to say happy Thanksgiving to each one of you next week. Thursday is the Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
But tomorrow night is Community Day for Giving, which is going to be held at Macedonia Church, starting at 6 o'clock. So come out and support South Carolina Spartanburg County Foundation with that. And then on Thursday morning, 7:30 is Turkey Day with pals. So get out there and do your running. Last but not least, I'm going to see since Chris didn't say it, to see if the mayor's going to say it, because we got another busy week before we get to our next council meeting.
Yep. We'll
Thank you
see.
again.
Someone else may say it before then. I was definitely going to mention Roland in his induction into the Hall of Fame of Claflin, so I'll let him know eventually. I'll see him out, beat him in some spades and congratulate him.
All right, thank you.
Councilman Foreman.
Sure. Congratulations, Roland. That's an exciting announcement. Congratulations and welcome, Leslie. We're glad to have you on council, and was impressed with your boys as they helped to administer the oath, and more impressed with the fact that they've stayed through this long meeting. Former boys have never stayed this long in a council meeting, and so I'm impressed by that. Also want to congratulate the Wofford volleyball team on its third consecutive Southern Conference championship. Coach Lindsay Roos and her team do a phenomenal job. I think they were bitten by the injury bug throughout this year, but they were still able to pull off an impressive feat up in Asheville this weekend. Janie mentioned Jay Davis and the work they did refurbishing the Coca-Cola building on behalf of some investors out of Greenville. But most importantly, we went and celebrated their investment in Spartanburg by opening an office here. And I hope everybody could have heard, or I wish everybody could have heard the positive comments that they made about their investment in Spartanburg and how bullish they are about coming to this community and how welcome they feel. And so I think that's another feather in our cap to have investment like that. And then a few of us today spent part of our morning at the site of the new Jesse Boyd on Weber Road, where they broke ground on the new elementary school. And I think that represents an exciting new future for children in District 7, and is part of a larger plan to improve the facilities and create an education system that is housed in state-of-the-art facilities for the future. And so that's an exciting thing. And of course, everybody, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and look forward to seeing you in December.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Mr. Mayor, congratulations, Councilwoman Rogers. We're really excited to have you. We are now a complete family again, so we're looking forward to your vision and your ideas and partnerships that we will continue to make this city a great place to be. Yeah, I saw the Wofford women's. That's pretty great. You know, when I was there, we weren't really great in many sports at all, so it's nice to see the athletic teams really getting the talent they're bringing to Spartanburg. The pickleball courts in Duncan Park are open. I received several messages over the weekend with pictures. Kim, thank you for all your hard work. So exciting. I mean, the people were lined up waiting to get on these courts. Had a little bit of feedback, which I'll send you in an email. But everyone was so excited, and they were just so thankful that, you know, this is an area that we find important for, you know, playing in our communities and promoting wellness, and very excited to get out there myself. Last week, had the opportunity, I believe a number of us were there, to attend the gentrification discussion over in the north side. The She Institute for Sustainable Communities and Dr. Ken Kolb spent the last year doing a study, data-driven. It was highly data-driven. My brain has been like, you have to take a minute to step back because there's just so much data. But really what we're trying to do is to ensure, you know, we've seen a lot what happens in other communities. We've seen what's happened in Asheville. We've seen what's happened in Greenville with non-intentional, it's not intentional growth. And so because of that, we've seen a number of communities and folks get pushed out of their communities. Some of the big takeaways that I took from that discussion was, you know, we have 84.4% of residential units in the north side are rentals. So that does create a serious risk for folks who could potentially be displaced. But they also talked about community resilience and how that is bolstered by home ownership. So through different partnerships with NDG and with the city, and funding to help folks with down payment assistance, and really putting their work into individuals who are interested in home ownership. That is how we keep our communities whole and allow people to stay where they are. The other piece that was really important, we're all kind of, I don't know about the rest of y'all, but just like one paycheck away from, not having a roof over our head and struggling sometimes to make ends meet, despite what's out there on the internet. I don't know where these bags of money are for me, but, emergency repair assistance. You have a lot of folks in the north side who are older homeowners who rely on Social Security, a hole in a roof can completely displace, whether or not they can maintain ownership of their home. So I do appreciate, my colleagues, your vision on, what kind of partnerships and leveraging funds that we can come up with to, create these programs to really invest in people. And that's what we're really about. The last thing I'll say, and it's just a point of frustration, Mr. Mayor, I think I've shared this with you before, Chris, as you mentioned, it's about Robert Smalls and everyone has to uphold our city ordinances. The same thing, to me applies with code enforcement. We have some properties in the city which are well beyond disrepair. I mean, they are at this point a public safety hazard. You can't miss it over on Oakland Avenue. This has been a property that I have been begging and pleading and pushing and working on, and I know Kevin is so tired of hearing from me, and I apologize, sorry, not sorry, over on Oakland Avenue. This piece of property is a public safety hazard, and we have been working on this, but it seems often that we don't apply our ordinances in a way that for everyone should be equal for everyone. If we're expecting residents to maintain their yards and pick up after this, the same should apply to property owners whose properties have gone into, this isn't just a window. There is an actual visible gaping hole in the top of this property. And if anyone walks through it or sneaks in there or whatever, we're gonna have really big problems. And so I hope in this next year, as we are looking at, really shoring up our ordinances and our zoning and everything else, that we can start being a little bit more consistent with how we apply our ordinances, not just to property owners, commercial property owners, but also, the residents. We do hear this often from residents. Sometimes they don't feel like they are treated the same. You have some folks on this side of the city that don't think that they are treated the same way as someone who might live on the east side of the city in terms of ordinances. And I think that we just need to be consistent. We need to follow the rules, and it is what it is. If we can't just, bend them here and bend them there, and okay, we'll give you more time and all of these things, and then not do the same things for others, because I think it just sets a terrible message that we will continue to be taken advantage of. So, thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman Ludejohn.
Oh, you haven't done that yet? Oh.
She's going last.
Well, I want to congratulate Leslie and all of you, except for me and Megan.
That's right.
Go on there. Well, congratulations and welcome to, and everybody else that were reelected. Congratulations. I want to congratulate the, hold on just one second, make sure I get it right. The top ladies of distinction and the President, Dr. Boozer, for all of the work that you did bringing this together. And I was there on Saturday, and all these beautiful ladies. I was so happy to see how this turned out. Thank you for all of the work that you've done to bring this together. Okay. And then the Epsilon Beta chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority and the the Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity served meals go to the J.C. Borg residents on the 18th. And these were delicious. I mean, this food was good. This was some delicious food. So I'm sure that the residents there enjoyed the meals that were delivered to them, the ones that were not able to come out. It was delivered. Also, I want to congratulate Miss Evelyn Parks, who celebrated her retirement over the weekend on the 21st. She'd been there 50 years and 4 months. Can you imagine? I mean, I was only 10 years old when she went.
We all laugh.
I mean, 50 years and 4 months, that's a long time to be on a job because she enjoyed it, and we're going to miss her there.
Evelyn Parks worked at?
The library.
Yeah, I just want you to say it, yeah.
Yeah, the Spartanburg downtown library. Yeah, because they did a reception for her a Friday afternoon. And then the C.C. Woodson, I want to thank Kim and Kathy and their whole team that were down at C.C. Woodson this morning delivering meals to people. I mean, and these were big turkeys they were giving away. My goodness, big turkeys. So these were nice meals that they were giving out, to people who had come to pick up meals. So if you all had gone, I'm sure that we would have handed you one too. So
320. 320.
I know. Yeah, lots of meals there. And thank you, everybody that were involved in that. I am excited about the trail extension that is going through, and I do hope that we can work something out there. I want to commend Jay Squires. Jay Squires, I am just going to pat you on the back, and Jay and Martin. Jay and Martin are on the ball, and they are just working so hard because sometimes that I wish that there was a way that I could give you all a raise, and Mitch and Kevin. I mean, the whole Spartanburg team, because we have a great team, y'all. A great team here in Spartanburg. And I am excited. And Chris, I take that smile, that frown off your face. Because when I said I wish I could give them a raise, I saw Chris frown. Okay, and I want to congratulate Roland and Joetta for their accomplishments, the Hall of Fame. Thank you.
All right, Councilman Smith.
Thank you all for being here to support Leslie. Congratulations. I think one of the things that makes us a strong council is each of us brings a unique perspective and background, both from our lived experience, but also professionally. And Leslie, I think you, from both areas, fill a hole that we don't have. So I think we're stronger with you up here, and we have a lot to learn from you, and maybe you'll learn something from us. So I did just want to address Mr. Schneider, though, because we haven't yet, and I
will.
Okay, well, you can too, but I'm going to as well, because it's one thing to be extremely passionate and to have emotions and to care really strongly about something, and it's another thing to spew vitriol and call people names. And frankly, I'm really tired of it as a council person. And we somehow have this thought that just because we sit up here, we are allowed to endure whatever the public thinks of us. And that might be the case, but I don't think that that should be true. We live in a time where people have become so desensitized in the way that we talk to each other. And that should not be true. That should not be true of who we are as a city. And I continue to believe that we can be better and that we can hold a higher standard for each other. When one of the leaders of the group that Mr. Snyder's a part of said that she received calls saying, bullying calls. We said that that was unacceptable and that no one should be treated that way. And I would hope that the folks of that movement could say the same things about us. When we came home from a football game on Saturday, I asked my son to get the mail. We were right there, and there was something weird on the mail box. It was probably bird poop. I don't know what it was. But my son says, someone threw poop on our mailbox because of what you did to the clock tower. That's my son's reaction. I see you shaking your head back there, but that is the lived reality that we have had. And the vitriol that has been said and spewed about us up here online is unacceptable. We can have differences. We can have different opinions about the direction of the city. But no children should believe that someone has come and desecrated their house because of a vote their mother took. I don't want to live in that city. I don't want to raise my child in that city. I don't want your child to live in that city either. So in the spirit of Thanksgiving, I am thankful that we can have disagreements. In the spirit of the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution, we can have strong disagreements where we argue with each other about what is the best way to move our country and our city forward. That is exactly what the Founding Fathers did. But we don't have to believe the worst about each other. We don't have to call each other names. We don't have to think that we're scum of the earth or traitors. I don't believe that about people who think differently than I do. And I don't think that someone should think that way about us either, just because we choose to sit up here and to serve our city. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We'll see you in December. Hope to see you at Dickens of a Christmas. It's going to be a lovely, jolly time.
Thank you. Thank you. Leslie, one thing you figure out, you might want to go first. You kind of forget, what you were about to say. You could look at my sheet here, and I'm just looking, jotting things down. But no, welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I wholeheartedly appreciate all of your words of support and congratulations. And I think to just balance your words, I learned that I have this honor of sitting in this seat Tuesday last week, late in the evening, and it was absolutely a testament to the community that we talk about living in and wanting to build. People coming together. I see members in the audience here that are just here to support and participate. So I very much witnessed the Spartanburg that I hold dear in my heart and that I know that we are continuing to build to give balance. But I think in this past week, I want to thank Chris Story and Christy Lindsay for just quickly getting me up to speed, being available. Council members, Mr. Mayor, same. And I look forward to participating and seeing everyone at the Turkey Trot. I will be walking. Please join me. Yes, walking. But it is an honor to be here, and I look forward to bringing my skills and talents and support to the community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And to that, we've talked a lot about some of the same events that have gone on. Spartanburg is tremendous. If you do not know about it, it's the new transit system we have, and having the opportunity to see it, bringing some kids to school that may have missed the bus really took me over the top when I'm like, man, this thing is really unique. So if you haven't used it, you get 4 free rides. That's everybody out there listening. The first 4 rides are free. Okay, and then we figure it out after that. I think it's $2 after that. So Spartanburg is a tremendous asset to the city. Roland, CC Woodson, we fed the community last week there for their Thanksgiving meal. Also today, as Councilwoman Littlejohn mentioned, there were 320 turkeys with fixing given away, and that was from a Spartanburg native. I'm not gonna say, but I know she graduated from Dorman, and I know her full name, but I'm gonna give her that. And Triumph Collective CEO joined with several community sponsors to donate the 320 turkeys. So thank you, and again, that's just our community coming together for a common goal and doing something good for our people here. We know Miracle Hill will feed. We have the Soup Kitchen always feeding, but there are several organizations and several nonprofits that are feeding our community and being thankful for our community. Laura, thank you, and Powell, for all that you guys do as well. Ladies of distinction, I did have the privilege Saturday as well as today. Thank you, Dr. Boozer, Madam President. Coke being open. Bill Bradshaw, for you guys that are Spartanburg folk, Bill Bradshaw had a lot to do with that coming here, and we talked a lot about the old days of Spartanburg. Parade is Tuesday the 9th. The 9th. We will not have a council meeting before, so come out and join us at the parade on Tuesday, December the 9th. You mentioned Dickens of a Christmas is the 2nd. The 2nd. Anything else I'm missing as far as community? Anything coming up? Nope. And also to Mr. Snyder, echo Megan and Councilwoman Smith. Guys, the way we do business, this is a team. You mentioned team a couple times. We had our strategic planning meeting last week with staff and directors and managers. And if I heard team once, I heard it 100 times. And teammates don't always agree on everything, but we're still part of a team. Megan mentioned that she didn't want to raise her children here in Spartanburg if this is what we're going to do. I'm telling you, my kids will be raised here in Spartanburg. So we have to get better. We're not going to tolerate that stuff. We can disagree, and we will disagree. But Mr. Snyder was out of hand, okay? To me, to council, stuff on social media is what you do. That's up to you, but we shouldn't. And I hate that your kid thinks that. I know your sons. They mean something to me. I hate that they would see something like that. And to go through this stuff, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. And we're not going to have it. As the mayor and council here, you're not going to come and just talk about us and point fingers. We can hear what you have to say, but we're not going to hear you just bashing and lying on things that are going on. Mayor Pro Tem mentioned the money bags. Shit, where's the money bag? I'm missing something, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm missing something. But again, that is not how we do business here in Spartanburg. It's not. And it's not gonna continue. And that might be my wife calling, so. Guys, thank you all for being here today. Congratulations again. Look forward to working with you for the next 2 years here. And happy Thanksgiving to you all. We have a quick executive session so they can quit breathing hard.
I'll make a motion, we move into executive session.
Second.
Thank you all.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.